the Irish guy, and I am scared, terrified. Imagine you just had the worst nightmare of your life. You've gone to bed and suddenly you're dreaming about having a cannibal granny who wants to eat your feet with a spoon. That is on par with my levels of stress and fear this week, because England, despite beating just one team inside 90 minutes so far at the Euros, despite a tournament which consisted of just draws against Denmark, Slovakia, Slovenia and Switzerland, they are now in the semi-final of Euro 2024. Imagine how awkward it'll be if they win. After 95% of the nation were speaking about Southgate as if he was some incompetent squirrel who keeps pooing on your lawn. Honestly, the way people were speaking about this poor Middlesbrough boss, you'd think they were speaking about Will Ferrell's character in Elf. Somebody who probably wouldn't be able to cook himself a lasagna pie without burning down the house. Has a more malign manager ever shut up the critics to win the entire thing? It would be so weird if this Sunday Southgate is hoisting that trophy above his head whilst fat English blokes are crying tears of happiness into their bowl of chicken nuggets. Does everyone then just say sorry? What? England are not winning Euro 2024. They are not. Yes, you are 2 games from absolute paradise, but you are 10 minutes away from being knocked out by the Swiss. Barely 30 seconds away from exiting against Slovakia. This is not a team who are winning anything. Why I was so scared is because you were 20 minutes away from being given a Euro 2024 semi-final against Turkey. That would have been the mother of all easy semi-finals. Southgate versus Turkey. Sounds like he's having a boxing match with himself. The last 2 teams Turkey have played at the Euros, they have lost 6-1 to both. Against the Netherlands and Austria inside the last 2 years. A few months ago, they were getting eaten by Japan. I'm sorry, but England would be given a Euro semi-final against a side who less than 2 years ago we're losing to the Faroe Islands. Aren't the Faroes just a collection of rocks in the sea, inhabited by cave trolls and sheep? You lost to a nation which probably hasn't even yet discovered the internet. Don't worry, I'm safe, okay? Because I'm convinced there's absolutely 0 people from the Faroes who ever watch these vids. They're too busy fishing for salmon and being forced to marry their cousins, right? Sorry, that was me. But no, sorry lads. I'm just really nervous about England's semi-final. But. Oh, it's
such an easy run to the final. We have to win it now.
Southgate is a joker. You want to talk about England having an easy route to the final? Yeah. Southgate inherited a Middlesbrough team who had valiantly just clawed their way to a Europa League final, knocking out European heavyweights like Roma. Great. He then gets the job and is then given the mother of all easy FA Cup runs. For Southgate to win Middlesbrough their first ever FA Cup, all they had to do was beat Bristol City, Mansfield Town, Sheffield United, Cardiff City, Barnsley and Portsmouth. They wouldn't face a single Premier League opponent until the final. This was the easiest FA Cup run anyone has ever had. And yet, Boro, they choked against Cardiff at home. They would have faced Barnsley in the semis. So I don't want to hear about easy runs. Southgate is such a choker that he probably needs to be supervised when eating a lumpy yogurt. Lads, the reason England are not winning this game is because this is a managerial duel between Ronald Koeman and Gareth Southgate. On paper, this is a mismatch. Yeah, Koeman might look like Todd of Breaking Bad if he chose to eat donuts for a year, but can we chuck some respect back on his name? This is somebody who has managed Ajax, Benfica, PSV Eindhoven, Valencia, AZ Alkmaar, Feyenoord, Southampton, Everton, and Barcelona. Southgate got Middlesbrough relegated, and that is it. I know Koeman's failure at Everton very quickly shoved his reputation in England into a bowl of dog food, but don't forget, after his brilliant work at Southampton, he had Pochettino hype. He cannot lose a Euro semi-final against Southgate, someone who looks like a shaved donkey. He can't and he won't. I mean, come on, let's take a look at the managers who Southgate has squeezed past in international tournaments. These are the standards of managers he's beaten. To round them with a point, I'm going to show you each manager's immediate job before taking the national gig, and also the most recent management job now, if they even got one. Right, Tunisia's Nabi Melou. Before the Tunisia job, Kuwait. And most recently, Kuwait SC. Okay then, Panama's Hernan Dario Gomez, Independiente Medellin, and Aguilas Doradas. Then Colombia's Jose Peckerman. Tigres, UANL, and Venezuela. Then Sweden's Jan Andersson, IFK Norrköping, and nothing since. Then Croatia's Latko Dalic, Al Ain, and still Croatia boss now. Then Czech Republic's Jaroslav Silavi, Slavia Prague, and Oman. Then Germany's Joachim Löw. I mean, before Germany, Austria Vienna? Okay, to be fair, he is a world champion coach, but by the time Euro 2020 rocked around, he was in his old, tired Wenger years. Up next was Andrei Shevchenko, who was in his first job, and since then, he lasted just 11 matches at Genoa. Then there was Denmark's Kasper Humland, whose previous job was Nordsjælland. Up next was Carlos Queiroz, Egypt before and Qatar after. Then Rob Page, who before Wales was the manager of Northampton Town. After that was Senegal's Aliou Cisse, this former Birmingham and Portsmouth midfielder who has literally never had a coaching job outside of the Senegalese FA. And this tournament, Serbia's Dragan Stojkovic, whose coaching career solely consisted of managing in Japan and China. I mean, the Slovakia manager Francesco Calzona, who to be fair has just had 3 months as Napoli's interim boss, where he had an 18% win record. But before that, I promise you, it was just 15 years of being an assistant. And then finally, Southgate has seen off the imperious Switzerland manager Murat Yakin, whose most recent job was FC Schaffhausen. I don't know. Do you see what I mean? These are the unappetizing twerps who Southgate has seen off at international tournaments. There's only 2 recognizable big name managers in that list, Joachim Low and Carlos Queiroz, but both guys are nearly in their 80s. It won't be long before they're both wearing nappies and being fed cereal, where the nurse pretends that the spoon is in a plane. The managers that have beaten Southgate meanwhile, Roberto Martinez twice, Roberto Mancini, Didier Deschamps. These are experienced big name managers who stand out from the pile. Managers who, yes, would survive in the Premier League. I mean, one of them has won the Premier League. I would chuck Ronald Koeman into that group of recognized top managers. Southgate has proven he cannot navigate his way past big name managers. He can't, he never has done, with the exception of Lowe. But let's be real, towards the end of his Germany days, this guy looked to be lacking so much motivation, he probably couldn't even bother to brush his teeth. He looked like a cross between Severus Snape and my great aunt Peggy. If England beat the Netherlands, it will be the first time Southgate has ever beaten a top manager in his pomp. I mean, Koeman's last job was literally Barcelona. Barcelona wouldn't even appoint Southgate to wipe chocolate stains off the walls of their club shop. They wouldn't even hire him to serve sloppy pancakes in the van for tourists outside the ground. But Koeman inherited a Barca team at the worst point in their history. They'd just been slapped 8-2 by Bayern Munich, were approaching a financial hellhole. They were in the middle of a chaotic presidential takeover, and he still helped them finish 3rd, just 9 points off the title. Honestly, if they didn't trip up in the spring, bottling the title after losing the El Clasico, Koeman would have helped them recover from a disastrous start to win La Liga. I mean, lads, between Christmas and April 2021, 13 wins from 14 league games. Barcelona, just 6 months after the horrible, traumatic Champions League nightmare, they were arguably the best team in the world. And that all happened on Ronald's watch. Southgate could never. He did also lift a Copa del Rey title, so I don't want to hear that he is some hideous footballing oaf, the Dutch Barney Gumble. No, this man is on another planet, Gareth. Southgate has been complaining that people have been criticizing him in the media, right? Pundits who wouldn't be able to do his job. Do you know what's embarrassing? He has actually lost a managerial battle against the pundit. You see Alan Shearer, that grumpy, wine-swilling, bald egg on Gary Lineker's podcast? He has tactfully outwitted and beaten Southgate in April 2009. Newcastle 3, Middlesbrough 1. Yes, Southgate, the England manager, has been beaten by a BBC pundit. I mean, Shearer is someone who actually applied to be the England manager after he retired, yeah, but also as recently as Euro 2016.
I went to see the FA 4 or 5 years ago and said I wanted, Shearer said. I would have that job. They looked at me and said, no, it's a lack of experience. I said, you've hired experienced guys. You paid them an absolute fortune. I could not have done any worse than them.
Yeah, so Shearer had no experience, right? You know what is embarrassing? He had the exact same level of experience as Southgate. They were both relegated together in 2009, except the difference is Southgate had the entire season. Shearer had from April 1st. Anyone could do Southgate's job. Shearer could have taken England to the semi-finals this tournament too. I mean, if you went through both Shearer and Southgate's emails, I bet Shearer was actually offered more managerial jobs than Gareth. I mean, he was offered a Premier League job at Blackburn Rovers in 2008, and then again in 2011. The same year they were trying to buy Ronaldinho. Tries what Shearer could have coached Ronaldinho. Instead, he's having to listen to Micah Richards' jokes. Cardiff City also offered Shearer the job in 2011. He was a front runner for the Ipswich Town gig after they'd sacked Roy Keane. By the way, another pundit who has also beaten Southgate back in September 2008. Half the lads in the telly have tactically destroyed Southgate in a Premier League match, and he's the England manager. It's crazy. But lads, right now England have to be focused and make absolute villains out of their semi-final opponents. Honestly, Ben White would have been perfect for this game. Hating Holland comes as second nature to the man. Honestly, isn't it strange that England, not only do they literally have someone called Steve Holland on the coaching bench, but they also have a Dutch goal machine? Are you telling me that Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank is really wanting to help Southgate rob his own nation of a first Euro final since he was 15 years of age. If I was Hasselbank, then this week I'd probably be trying to smuggle pig laxatives into Ivan Tony's bowl of shreddies in the morning, and maybe keep Harry Kane up until 5 a.m. by blasting horrible Rihanna tunes outside his hotel door. Honestly, are we totally sure that this former Burton Albion boss is not a spy? Although this game is big for Jeremy Frimpong too, an ultra-confident, rampaging right-wing back for the Dutch, coming off a stupendous invincible season with Bayer Leverkusen. But he has mates in the England camp. He moved to England when he was 10 and didn't leave Britain until he was 21. This guy has an English accent. He spent more time living in England than Holland. And you know what's weird? This guy, who I have used in my shorts and predictions video, you'll recognize him. He is actually marked Frimpong and shared a picture with Foden and Sancho as Middlesbrough's academy played against Man City's. Yeah. He actually had to mark a teenage Frimpong. This is somebody who was a mini Usain Bolt. If he was any quicker, he'd be in the X-Men comics. It's weird though, out of those 4 players on that page, it's mad thing that both Foden and Frimpong are now facing off against each other for a place in the Euro 2024 final, while both Sancho and Mike are at home watching Gilmore Girls on the couch. Sorry, Mike. Surely England cannot win this game. I mean, lads, the Dutch lineup is brilliant. Lining up at a 4-2-3-1 formation, having a back 4 of Nathan Ake, Virgil van Dijk, Stefan de Vrij and Denzel Dumfries, with the likes of Daley Blind, Mickey van den Ven and Matthijs de Ligt on the bench. Lads, both de Vrij and Dumfries just helped Inter Milan to a 94-point Serie A winning season. Ake just lifted his 4th Premier League title at Man City, and he's just a year after winning a ridiculous treble. Van Dijk is a Premier League and Champions League winner who once finished 2nd at the Ballon d'Or. Blind is a Champions League defender with Girona. Van de Ven was one of the Premier League signings of the season for Spurs. Frimpong just had an invincible season with Leverkusen, whilst de Ligt was recently the most in-demand centre-back in the world. That is a ridiculous roster of defensive talent. No way are England scoring against the Dutch. I mean, it suddenly makes England's defensive options look about as special as a squished packet of wine gums. Lads, England are not getting past Holland. I'm going to say this. My prediction. The Netherlands 3, England 0. Just you watch. Anyway, that's it. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to get a like, subscribe as always. I'll talk to you in a while.